I think in his day he needed no introduction. But since we're a little ways down the road from the American Revolution, I'd like to introduce to you Ethan Allen. And he has a few words for us on the Commons.
Thank you. I have prepared these remarks in careful consideration of the works of Dr. Franklin, Mr. Jefferson, Mr. Adams, Mr. Madison, et al., and also in careful consideration of the remarks by Miss Ellen Brown, et al., yesterday, and in consideration of my own untutored logic and observations, and in consideration of the future remarks of Mr. Greco and Mr. Sill today. William of Orange, for the Convention Parliament of 1689, as set down in Blackstone in re Safety of the Whole, and Locke in re Representative Republican Governance, and Adams, Allen, et al., in re the right to self-government and self-preservation, and the Virginia Convention of 1776, providing for the general safety, and Justice Samuel Chase in Calder v. Bull, 3 Dallas 386 at 388 U.S. 1798, re the nature and ends of legislative power. And the Second Constitutional Congress, July 4, 1776, granting the free and independent states full power to levy war, conclude peace, contract alliances, establish commerce, and to do all other acts and things which independent states may of right do. And Justice Chase, again, that each of the several states was a sovereign and independent state with its own authority and its own law, without any control from any other power on earth. And in the works of Paine and Jefferson and Franklin, for the common good and the good of the commons, and keeping of the commons, as opposed to the theft of the commons, versus the common use of the commons and purpose and inheritance of and rights to the commons for goats and sheep and geese and horses. And in the name of the commons and the many, and not the few. So the common ownership of the commons shall be the way of the commons in perpetuity, and this is self-evident, as in the word commons, root com, as in community, committee, commission, commerce, commonwealth, communication, as in to make common, and commend, commingle, commiserate, commute, commit, commode, communion, commodity, common sense, common law, and common good. And the responsibility shall be held in common trust and not private hands, and therefore shared in common and not restricted. And this includes the affairs of government, the means of exchange, and the air and the airwaves, and the water and the waterways, and the groundwater and the lakes, and the rivers and the streams and the oceans and the creatures thereof. And when, as for the writings of Marshall, Mason, Madison, Adams, Allen, and Jefferson et al., when the commons is stolen from the people, they shall reclaim it, though they replenish it with their blood and the blood of tyrants, and so assert their sovereignty over it, and secede it from those who violate the commons, which also include inalienable rights and freedoms which are granted by nature and in common with all people, as in life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, self-evident in the course of human events, self-evident in natural law, self-evident as in obvious, clear, not to be denied, as in plain for all to see, as in, hey, dumbass, don't surrender your rights and your birthright to tyrants, especially to traitors, especially to beady-eyed rats, smirking chimps, and fat, useless, backstabbing pieces of pretenders to the common good, to worthless, witless, brainless, treacherous, gutless, underhanded, groveling, mean-spirited, treasonous, pompous, arrogant, self-serving, destructive, cowardly, unctuous whores, leeches and panderers, whose mission it is to divide up the world and the peoples of the world, and to pillage and pillage and pillage some more, and what they can't pillage, they destroy. While the best and the brightest stand around holding candles that belong up their asses and ours for giving the bastards everything they want so they can pillage some more with our treasure and with our friends and our children and our parents. And we take it and grovel and call ourselves free, and some have the nerve to call themselves sane, while our employees at the trough devour our private and our common wealth and shovel it on to their detestable accomplices, the maggots and tyrants and traitors and enemies of planet Earth. Yes. I thank you.